Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Everything Wrestling. Today we will be revisiting Monday Night Raw. So, as you know, we've been doing different seasons. That's what I've been calling them of those events that we remember from early wrestling. Uh, so now we're hitting the nostalgia, and we're going down Monday Night Raw, the Monday Night Raw road. So this will chronicleize, if that's a word, but this will basically start to current of Monday Night Raw. So if you missed anything or you wasn't around during those early years, this is going to refresh your memory. And for those who were around, this is going to bring back some of those aha moments, or basically some of those wonderful childhood memories that you remember when we used to sit down every Monday night and watch the Monday Night Raw, and then of course Monday Night Wars. So sit back, relax, and get locked in as we take this journey down Monday Night Raw. So we start with January 18th, 1993. And on this episode of Raw, this was pretty much the loser leaves town match. So of course this was between Mr. Perfect and Ric Flair, and it was set up. Obviously, we know that Ric Flair lost because this was pretty much it was the end of his contract with WWF, and he was heading back to WCW. So he finished out his obligation, I think, up to February, and then he went back to WCW. So this was their way of kind of writing Flair off uh, on Monday Night Raw. And shout out to our friend Bud Lightyear, as he pulled off this picture. And as you can see, we got Perfect and Flair going at it during that time. So that was that moment. And now is June 21st, 1993. And you remember the $10,000 challenge. So for a little bit backstory, quick backstory, obviously we know 123 Kid came on the scene and he beat Razor. Pretty much Razor felt embarrassed, and it was like, oh no, this kid cannot come in. This no name cannot come in and beat me. And he offered uh 10,000. He did a $10,000 offering to the kid if he could beat him again. So pretty much in the scene, or if we know the how everything played out, the kid will ultimately end up stealing uh Razor's money and taking off running with it. But in this scene, we pretty much tried to recreate that moment when Razor is showing off his money. He's actually entering the ring, showing off his money. Shout out to Mattel for giving us that set. Like pretty much, we were able to reduplicate this because if you remember, we got that set with Razor and the 10,000 Razor, the kid, with the $10,000 money. So it was kind of easy to pull this one off. And then, as you can see in the background, we got that Raw is War uh, letters in the background. That also was a set recently that Mattel put out. So yeah, it's been nice getting all this nostalgia uh, that we've been asking for. Now it's July 5th, 1993, and most of you guys remember the USS Intrepid and the whole. This was when they was building Lex to pretty much be another Hulk Hogan. It was the Lex Express and that whole gimmick, everything. But pretty much, we're now aboard the USS Intrepid, and this was the Body Slam Challenge, and everybody tried to body slam Yoko, but the only person that could, uh, and I'm gonna say quote unquote, body slam Yoko was Lex. Now we get some people that argue the fact it was a hip toss. That's, WWF sticks, or WWE sticks to the fact it was a body slam. Either way, in this scene, you can see we are aboard the USS Intrepid, and we have our Lex in the process of slamming Yokozuna. And now it's October 4th, and it's 1993. So pretty much we got Doink, who came in as a heel, but now he has become a face. And he would pretty much, in those last couple of months, kind of pick at Heenan. So in this scene that you can see, we're pretty much giving you that moment when he's messing with Heenan, and he's acting like he's gonna throw something on Heenan, and in that first scene, and pretty much you see Heenan pointing at Monsoon like, "Oh no, throw that on him," and then you see that uh Doink is kind of cracking up because he ended up putting the bucket on Heenan, and Monsoon basically feel like, again, we've made a fool out of Heenan. But the going back to Mattel, more additional figures from that era that we've gotten recently, so that that Doink was that UE Doink, that Ultimate Edition Doink, that came with the ring, I think. But that was excellent figure, and with the jacket and everything. And then we got our Monsoon and our Heenan. I think we're about due for another Heenan and a Monsoon, because pretty much that was the only Gorilla Monsoon that we got. And I know we got the one that came in the Coliseum collection with him in a wrestling attire, but we're due for the interview Monsoon. So yeah. And finally, for this episode, or I'm sorry, this season, December 6th, 1993, we called this Goodbye to the Brain, because this was the last episode for Bobby the Brain. So, of course, in this episode, uh, Monsoon would actually take Brain and throw him out of the Raw, or Manhattan Center, which was where where Raw was shot. But this was the story behind it, was the fact that this was Heenan was getting ready to go back to, or Heenan was getting ready to go over to WCW. So it was kind of emotional for him, because he had been with WWE or WWF for a long time. So now he was going over to WCW, and him and Monsoon had something special. So this was, as you can see, this is another recreation by our buddy Bud, and he has Monsoon pretty much tossing him on out of there, and you can see all of his trash and his belongings on the ground. So that was pretty much the last of that season, which was season 1. So that kind of concludes our season of this Monday Night Raw. But as y'all know, we got a lot more coming, and Monday Night Raw has a lot more seasons. So we got a lot more figure photography coming that will bring that nostalgia your way. And a lot of these things you remember, be like, oh, I forgot about that, and that type of thing. So hopefully you enjoyed season 1 of our Monday Night Raw. And make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. Also hit that notification so that you know when we upload those next seasons, and also that you don't miss out on anything, because like I said, we got a lot coming down the pipe. And if you've been following the channel, we're all about nostalgia. We're going to take you down memory lane, and we have a lot more other events that will be popping up. We got Survivor Series, we got Halloween Havoc, any of the pay-per-views that from back in the day that you remember, we definitely got those coming. So stay tuned. Like I say, hit that subscribe button, and until then, y'all stay blessed out there, be safe, and I'll catch you on the next go around.